Remember that sweet, wonderful hummingbird cake that Grandma used to make? What if I told you that you could make that too? All the flavor, 5 grams of net carbs, staying in ketosis. We can do that. Let's get started. Welcome to our kitchen and Keto with Kenny. So today we are going to make a keto hummingbird cake. It's been called other things, Jamaican spice cake, bird of paradise cake, don't miss out cake. So the beauty of this cake, unlike some of the other items in keto, is it's really simple. Putting it together is really not difficult. There's no whipping of egg whites, making sure they're stiff peaks, separating and doing. It's just basically throwing everything in together and mixing it all up. So throwing it in together is a lot. There is a lot in this recipe. So down below in our description, I've got all the exact measurements and the instructions on how to make it all. So we're gonna show you how to do. So we're gonna use the entire kitchen sink to be able to make this delicious cake. So we're gonna start off with 3 cups of almond flour and 1 cup of coconut flour. So I separated that so you could see. Then we're going to add other dry ingredients. Before I forget to add those dry ingredients, we're gonna get our oven going. We're gonna do 2 things real quick. So we'll get our oven going. That started, and as soon as it's ready, we're gonna take 1 cup of shredded, unsweetened coconut, spread it out on a sheet pan, and get that to toasting so we can have that when we're ready. Now let's get back to our dry ingredients. So we've got our 3 cups of almond flour, 1 cup of coconut. We are going to add a pinch of salt. So we're just gonna throw that in there just a little bit. We're going to add 4 teaspoons of baking powder. We'll add my teaspoon there, so 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Move that along. Then we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. You can also use allspice. That's totally up to you. We like ground cloves in ours, making that spice cake there. And then we're going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. So basically 3 of our quarter. 1, 2, 3. We are going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So since we don't have gluten in there to help some of the rise and set, we are using xanthan gum to be able to do that. So let's see if we can open this up nicely without making a mess. And like I said, we need 1/2 teaspoon. So we're gonna go 2 of our quarters. 1, 2. Set that one to the side. We are going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There. We're going to then add 2 teaspoons of, get this, banana extract. Yes, sounds a little weird. Smells really good though. There's our banana extract. Now we're going to add 2 cups of unsweetened almond milk. I didn't have unsweetened almond milk, so I used heavy cream and water, a 3-to-1. So we've got that mixed in. That'll start giving us a little bit there. And we also are going to add in our eggs. So I took 6 eggs and already whisked them all up. Place them in there. So now we're just going to gently mix all of this in together. This is going to be the beginning of our batter. And I can already smell that cinnamon, banana, and cloves. Yeah, you can smell that banana extract. It definitely smells like Grandma's cake. So we also are going to take a cup of softened butter. I know, a cup, that's a lot of butter. So it's gonna take that to be able to, but butter in keto is not bad for us. It's actually good adding that fat, especially if it is grass-fed organic butter, which ours is. And you can see our batter looking really nice. It is gonna be a thick batter, so we are gonna have to actually make it move through. So we're gonna set that to the side for just a little bit. We're gonna take our butter and we're gonna mix together our sweetener. So we're gonna take a 1/2 cup of brown sugar substitute, using our swerve there, and then a 3/4 cup of regular monk fruit sweetener. And we are just going to take and get this all mixed up nice and slow. We just wanna get it all a nice consistency, everything mixed up together, but we don't wanna make a mess. We don't wanna lose any butter. We don't wanna create a big problem in the kitchen. Nobody likes to clean up big messes. So we're just gonna whisk this together to get it all nice and creamed. You can use a hand mixer or a stand mixer if you want. I like it because it works my forearms, triceps, and biceps. A little extra in there. All right, got that all together. So now we're gonna take both of our bowls. We are going to add in to our butter mixture a 1/2 cup of chopped pecans, a 1/2 cup of shredded unsweetened coconut, and then a 1/2 cup of diced chopped pineapple. That's where a lot of our carbs are probably coming from in this set. So you don't want to go heavy on that pineapple. So you want to make sure you measure that out so that you can keep it at that 5 grams of carbs per slice. Now, we went ahead and prior to start, took 2 of our 8x8 tins. I like using the tins because they look little nice square bars. They fit nicely on our plate. And I don't have the round tins. I only had 1. So we're gonna make 2 layers. So I've got those already pre-oiled. I put butter in them and then I put a little bit of parchment paper in the bottom just so it makes it easy to be able to help lift out and do. So I've got those already set. We've got our parchment paper with our 1 cup of coconut. And as soon as that oven is ready, we're gonna put those together. So we're gonna mix this in. You can see how nice and delicious that looks. Really good. We're just gonna mix it all in here to our batter. And like I said, it is going to be thick, so we're not going to just pour it in. We're going to have to scoop it into and spread it around nicely into our pans. We're just going to take our fork and just mix that all in. Once we've got all of that butter and our other ingredients mixed in, incorporated well, you can see it's all together, all the same consistency. Now we're ready to place that into our pans. So let's get those pans. Two 8x8. So we're just going to take our spatula and just set it in there with it. Pour in half into each one. Make sure I've got a hold of it. And one more. There are a lot of desserts out there that are keto friendly. Out of all the desserts I've made, which if you've not seen the ones we've already made, give us a like, subscribe, and a notify so you can see what we do. We've got brownies, we've got little bites, we've got tiramisu, lemon tiramisu, and I have regular tiramisu coming soon. So give us a like, subscribe so you can see what we've got going on. There's some great desserts. This one, I'm excited about it. It does. Smells just like Grandma's spice cake. Taking me back, one of those Ratatouille moments when the film critic takes a bite of that Ratatouille and he flashes back to that childhood. That's what I smell right now, is waiting for Grandma's cake to be ready. So, spice around. You can see I got a little on the edges. We're going to clean that up, making sure that it's even and nice. little bit out of this one just to make it even, to make sure our cakes look nicely. And then as soon as we get our oven ready, we'll get these in the oven with our toasted coconut. We'll start on the filling in just a second. And there's our 2 pans. As soon as that oven's ready, we'll get them in. Okay, it's been right at 35, 40 minutes. It took a little longer for the cakes because they are so dense to cook, but they're ready to be pulled out of the oven. So we're gonna do that right now. We're just gonna set them, they're gonna have to cool, and as soon as they cool, we'll fix up our filling and our icing, and then we'll put those together. So let's pull them out of the oven. Oh, beautiful brown, all on the edges, nice thick. Smell all the spices, and we are going to let those sit right there, and as soon as they're cooled down, we'll pull them out of the pans, and then we'll get our icing going together and put that together for a nice little taste. All right, our cake is cooled, our coconut is toasted. Now let's make that icing middle filling. So we're gonna squeeze these to the side here. We've got 16 ounces of cream cheese that we've let out to get to room temperature. We have a cup of butter and then 1 1/3 cup of sugar. So we're just gonna go ahead and pour this all in together and just get it all mixed up and ready to go. We're also going to add in some vanilla, but let's get our mix going first so that we've got a nice setup before we move on, so that it's all mixed together. You can see that it's starting to chunk and get a little bit dry, which is all right. That's what we're looking for, is getting that sugar all incorporated in. And once we've got it to a point that it looks good, we're gonna go ahead and just pour in our butter. And so we've let our butter sit out as well. It's room temperature, so it's gonna be really easy to mix. You can use a hand mixing machine or into a food processor along those lines. Totally up to you. I just like mixing it by hand. Feels more natural, like Grandma used to make. All right. And you can see, oh yeah, it's gonna be just a nice kind of a buttercream icing is what we're looking for. So now that we've got it mixed to there, we are gonna go ahead and take our whisk and just whisk it all up together to get it really nice and incorporated there. You get all those chunks of cream cheese so it's nice and smooth. Almost there. All right, so now that we've got that all mixed in together, we're gonna go ahead and add our tablespoon of vanilla. Then we can start building. Closer to build, the closer to sampling. We'll get to see how our work paid off. There we are. Nice buttercream icing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a plate and we're just gonna place it on our cake and we're gonna just flip it over. See how well this comes out. Look at that. And our parchment paper left in the bottom, perfect. Almost need a bigger plate. So like that. Take a little bit of our spatula and we're just gonna place some of this in between. Nice and thick. As you can see, I am not a professional baker, but it's going to taste good because I've already tasted a little sample of each of our ingredients along the way. Keep those off camera. All right, let's go a little bit more. Let's make that a nice thick in between. Even there. All right, set that to the side. And let's see if we can do this without causing, and did not. But we got that on film, so we're just gonna roll with it. Just gonna kind of make it as is. It has just happened. Things don't work out all the time, but as you can see, I probably could have cooked that one just a little bit longer. It's got a little bit of moisture still in there, but that's gonna be great. We're still gonna take and move this around. So I'm gonna grab my knife and just see if I can make it. Because once we cut this up, no one's gonna know. Once we add a little bit of icing in those places, squeeze this back in together right there. Place this one in that crack. Look at that. As soon as I get some icing on top of there, no one's gonna know the difference. So I won't tell if you won't tell, okay? And we're just gonna slowly squeeze a little bit on top, make sure that we're not messing too much on our cracked pieces there. We'll just glue that right back in together. Like I said, not a professional baker, but I know it's gonna be delicious. So we're just gonna start adding a little bit on the sides. You can see, you're gonna be able to tell this is not an AI generated picture of our cake. This is actually the cake. And we're gonna put that toasted coconut on there too, so we're even gonna hide it more. Almost there, one more side. Just a little bit here. We'll finish out the rest of our icing on our cake. Oh, yes. Wonderful looking there. So you can't even tell. And if you can, like I said, we're still gonna eat it all and enjoy. It's gonna taste the same whether we're all cracked up or not. Oh yes, nice, tall. And just a little bit more right here on this edge. And there we are. So we've got the cake all iced up and ready to go. So now we're gonna take that final bit. We're gonna take our toasted and we're just gonna sprinkle around on the top. And if I had a little bit more space, I could kind of pat it around on the sides. Just giving it, we're gonna make a big mess. We'll go ahead and clean up. It'll be a delicious mess. There we are. We'll pull all this rest that we've missed off, and I'll show you our end. There we are. If you wanted to add a couple pecans on top, we have a couple of those set off to the side. You can add some whole pecans just to decorate. We're gonna turn that one back over. And there we are. Let's give it a slice and see how it tastes. We're just gonna cut it right here. And just take this corner piece right off. Oh, nice. Gotta wash my hands real quick. There we are. Take a look at that. Icing, beautiful cake, wonderful toasted. Now let's see how it tastes. Yes, this is definitely that dessert that you're looking for. It's gonna take you back, like I said, to that ratatouille moment of being that kid again in the kitchen when grandma brings it around. Really, really wonderful. Coconut, the spices, the pecans in there. It's sweet, but it's not overpoweringly sweet. Like us, if you enjoyed it, give us a subscribe. Get that notifications because you never know what dessert or what keto item we're gonna make next. We've also got tiramisu coming. And check out the ones we've already had before. So here's to health and happiness.